Greetings, hi, TheWarOwl greets you. Valve has finally released the major update we've all been waiting for and expecting for some time now, and I've finally released the video explaining what it's all about. Breaking the PvP pattern, we have Operation Vanguard, a fancy word that sells well but means nothing. So what is Operation Vanguard? First, it introduces 6 new maps for use on Valve's 64-tick servers, including DE Season, a map that is accepted by the competitive community. You do not have to pay for an Operation Vanguard pass to be able to play the maps. They are free for everyone, even in all of the Valve servers. So if you're only concerned with the maps, you can skip the purchase. The maps are available on the workshop, and they've been there before the operation and such, so you can play them on community servers as well. There's nothing being limited here. This just introduces them to the subpar Valve servers that you can access through the Play Find a Game feature. It also introduces some statistics tracking stuff. What is called a journal. This just tracks how you play, the different numbers and such. So if you're the type who likes to check their stats on community servers, or like if you play the CEVO or ESEA pugs and you like to just check out your statistics and look at them, this might be for you. There's also like friend leaderboards and stuff like that, but personally, I don't understand the appeal. I don't think there's really much to be gleaned from player statistics in a game like Counter-Strike, but some people find it entertaining. If you pay the $6 for the pass or whatever it is in your region, you get access to the new weapon case as a drop. You also get a fancy badge, which you can use and you can equip it so it shows up next to your name in-game. I use the 5-year coin thing just to let people know I mean business. Upgrading the coin works differently this time. It has to do with the campaigns, which leads us to the new thing in this operation, campaigns. Last operation, we saw the introduction of missions, which were drops you got in-game that pretty much gave you an achievement to complete. And when you completed that achievement, you got a fancy item. Well, they were kind of mostly crap, but now they introduced something called a campaign, which it didn't really explain it well enough in the advertisement for it. Let me ask you, as a gamer, when you see the word campaign, what do you think of? I'll give you a few seconds. If you didn't say single player, you're lying to yourself, or you must be new. Don't be fooled. This is not an addition of a single player mode. When I first saw the word campaign, I thought of Condition Zero, which was made by the guy who's currently working on the Evolve title, but it ain't. It's just a new packaging of the missions, and it's probably a better packaging of the missions in my opinion. For the $6, you get 2 of these campaigns. There's also 2 extra that you can buy for $3 each. So pretty much all 4 of them are $3 each, bringing you to a total of $12 in my region. I could have gotten a haircut for that. That's, yeah, I'm buying them in order to investigate them for you. The footage here is from my live stream at twitch.tv/WarOwl, where I first tried out the new operation. If you want to keep up to date on the sort of stuff that I do, anything WarOwl, when the streams are going on, any events, you can follow me on various social medias. So Twitter, probably the best to keep up to date on what's going on. There are links in the description to follow me on these for Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and my Steam group. Now, you can't just do all the missions right away. It limits how many missions you can do, but in a strange way. My first day, I was able to do 3 missions, then it blocked me, and said I had to wait a day. The next day, I did 1 mission, and it blocked me again after that mission, saying I had to wait another day. It explains in the documentation how long you have to wait to do a mission or how many missions you possibly can do, but it isn't really that clear, and I don't think we'll know for a few days how exactly it works. Based on what it says, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, and I'll leave an annotation link here in the future if this is incorrect information I'm telling you. But I believe it gives you 2 missions per campaign that you own per week. The operation is over 3 months, so that's 96 possible missions you can accept. Now, out of the 4 campaigns, I counted. I actually went in and manually went 1, 2, 3. I counted 84 possible missions total inside of the 4 campaigns, which means you can do them all if you want, if I'm right, with a little bit of wiggle room as well. I don't know if they queue up over time or not, or if you just lose them, meaning like the possible missions to do. If you don't do a mission for a week, does that mean you can do 2 the next week? I'm not sure. Pretty much, it's to sum it up, it's like doing a daily mission. It's designed in a way that it's kind of like you do 1 a day, which it's kind of like World of Warcraft, and I think it incentivizes people to play more and to play more consistently and to play constantly every day. A very good strategy, and they even got you to pay for it. Limiting these to like a daily thing, I think may turn people off. The idea seems to be to cause people to play more, but gamers like to binge, to do it all in one sitting. You can't do that with this operation. In fact, if you could binge it, I would probably be the one doing it all in one sitting. The campaign works by doing missions one at a time, but it branches off. When you reach one of the final 3 missions in the tree, you get a star, or you get 3 stars depending upon which line you went down. There's more difficult ones. Which you can use it to upgrade your coin to silver and then gold, just to show it off that you did it, I guess. Because the number of missions you can do is limited, the ideal path through the campaign to optimize stars can be mapped for each campaign, and they're different. So for the first one, for example, you can just take the red path to the end, then branch to the middle one to the end, then branch to the first one to the end and get all them fancy stars. It's not that difficult to map out the most efficient way to go through there, or the most efficient way to get stars. I did it wrong, because I allowed you guys to decide what mission I took through a poll when I was streaming. So yeah, it's pretty much an achievement hunting thing if you're into that sort of thing. You'll get missions like win 10 rounds on a certain map, kill 20 chickens, do stuff in the game, in the already existing game. So pretty much when you hop into a deathmatch, you're going to be greeted with a bunch of weird people running around shooting chickens, yelling at you not to kill them. Well, kill them anyway, because it's funny. I also like to just kill the chickens so they can't get them, because I'm just not a good person, and it's funny to watch them like, oh man, that's my chicken, man. I need to kill that for a minute. So, you're going to see a lot of weird people over the course of the next few months, and they're going to be trying to do their missions. Which is interesting, I guess. It encourages more people, more skilled players to do more of the different game modes and that sort of thing. I don't know. To attempt the mission, you just click on it and it puts you in the proper game mode and server that you need to complete it, which I like. You don't have to go like, okay, I guess I need to do a deathmatch and I need to be this map and hopefully I get on Dust 2 and just stuff like that. No, you don't have to worry about that. It puts you where you need to be. And as a reward, you either get a roll on a skin or a box, and it'll tell you what you can get, what the possible rewards are before you accept the mission. But you're still gonna have to pay to unbox the boxes though. But some people just like to sell those crates to the streamer dudes who open thousands of those things and attempt to get viewers. There's some other stuff in the update too, like they ruined Arms Race. Now, what was once a fun little pastime has now been blue-shelled to death. The player in first place is now visible through walls. That's right. I'm not making that up. If you think you're doing well in Arms Race and you get ahead, you're now visible through the freaking walls. It appears to be an attempt to make sure that one player can't get a huge lead, but in a gun game scenario, there are better ways around that than giving wall hacks and making one player, the player who is performing the best, a target for everyone on the map. I understand the reasoning. The idea is to present a target for the rest of the players to stop. Because the first player to the top wins, it makes sense as a player to try and stop the player in first place. When you can see someone through walls, the game is incredibly easy. I've never used wall hacks. This was my first experience as I tried out the new Arms Race mode, and I can safely say it's way too overpowered. Here's some alternatives. As you go up in level, make the weapons you use more difficult, such as starting with the rifles and then going to the pistols. This is already done, and it's a great way to try and even it up without actually giving anybody an unfair advantage, because at the end of the day, everyone still has to go through all the same weapons. But when you have a guy with a Glock going up against a guy with an AK-47, it makes it a little more difficult with the guy with the Glock. He has to dominate to win. And it doesn't give an unfair advantage to the guy with the AK-47. There's your like natural evener. There's another solution. If they still want to make the first player a target, which I disagree with, but if they do want to go that direction, just show like a highlighted red dot for the player who's in first place on the radar. It's a much better solution to the same issue. Personally, I prefer not penalizing the player in first for doing well. It seems rather counterintuitive for a competitive online video game. I understand it's just a fun on-the-side game mode, but Arms Race is still competitive. You're still trying to win. Why else would you be in there? Trying to win is fun. But yeah, the solution that they're using right now is rather silly, and I'm pretty sure most people are gonna agree with me on that one. and it's made much more damaging by the fact that one of the operations, the Weapon Specialist mode, is kind of based around arms race. And if the player in first is made a target, it's gonna be difficult to win that when you're like really trying to win. Because you put yourself in first, you make yourself a target for the blue shell, just like Mario Kart. I'm TheWarOwl, and I still have no closer.